Startups, mothers, and tech employees were invited to a live interactive debate featuring inspirational female leaders who discussed their careers and the power of technology at the Impact Hub in Brixton.
Hi, my name's Sonia Meggie and I'm the founder of an organisation called Inspirational You. I'm also a mother and a student. Over the last 2 years, I've interviewed and featured over 200 women on the various events that I organise via my company, Inspirational You, and all of these women I've met via social media. I've interviewed women who run successful banking companies, women who run blogs, women who've changed careers, women who've decided that going back into full-time work is not for them, or women who, like myself, just have a genuine passion for technology and just want to learn more and want to ensure that they are successful. So I decided to look at what and how women are using technology. And as a result of that, I've decided to do a final research project on women who use technology.
If you ask questions, you take notes, and of course, it's the day as possible when you're okay? Tech for me has opened up many doors. I happen to be the first in a few of technology's qualifications, and it's opened the doors for me to have my own business, be a homeschooling mum, and on the board of many different strange companies. Apps are amazing right now. There's lots of things that you can utilise with free apps, paid apps, whatever. And I find that what I like to do now is like a game I play with the smart kids that I teach. It's a game where we open up the apps as well as when I do business meetings, find out what apps people use most and see what uses it has for you. Because I'd recently done an invoice from an app and my business partner was like, oh my God, that took you seconds. How did you do that? I was like, it's an app I downloaded.
Technology has been fantastic for me because I teach online. I teach for University of the Arts, London, College of Fashion and Central St Martin's. And I'm able to reach people all over the world, Africa, Russia. As a result of that, I'm now starting to set up my own online academy called Wilberforce Academy, which will help young people to look at business in technology and across the creative industries.
The interesting thing about that is that I don't actually live here. I live in Ghana, West Africa, so tech has been fantastic for me because it allows me to teach overseas.
It's allowed me to have it all. So I have a career, I have a family, I've got a husband, kids, and technology's basically allowed me to manage all of that.
YouTube is a great resource. It's like you can just type in the word Twitter help and you will get some. There are lots of people that just don't mind filming themselves, telling you how to do stuff. I've taught myself Photoshop, I tried to edit a video, I didn't do it well. But it's, you know, there's so many help videos, at least on YouTube.
Tech has made things so much easier in my life. I can run both my businesses from anywhere in the world. That can be in the bathroom, the kitchen, on the school run, at the school gates, in the queues, even from home if I want to. Technology has been brilliant for me in regards to my business because it gets me to spread the word about the wonderful things that British black entertainers are doing, which was really previously unheard of and not really discussed.
There's a website called Namecheck and it's spelled NAMECHK. And what you can do with that particular website is you can go in and check and see whether your name's there or not, whether it's been taken by Facebook, Dig, Ning, Instagram, whatever. So that's one of the things that I would do.
Technology is now available to facilitate people's dreams and goals. So if you're a woman who had always dreamed about having your own PR agency because you know you've got amazing relationships and you think you can use those relationships to help other people progress. In the past, that would have been a lot more difficult than it is now for simple reasons, such as social media platforms exist, things like LinkedIn exist. If it's an artist, things like SoundCloud. If it's a filmmaker, Behance. You know, there's something for everyone now.
So technology is always moving really quickly, and it's about, we have a responsibility as women to keep up to date, but it's not always easy to do that because you've only got so many hours in the day and you can't always be on top of everything. When I went off on maternity leave, I took 2 quite long maternity leaves, well, a year for both. And I found that during that time, technology had moved on really quickly in the space of a year. So I left the industry for about a year and a half, and by the time I went back, the cameras were different, the technology was different, and I just felt a bit like, my God, I just felt a bit out of my depth. And also, social media had really come to the fore, and when I was, even though it was only a year, it wasn't as prolific, but when I went back in, I'd kind of been in a bit of a bubble for a year and a half, bubble of breastfeeding and nappies and children's centres and baby groups, and you know, you don't talk about, you know, the latest technological advances when you're with your kids playing with other mums. You talk about how gorgeous they look in their new dress or whatever. So all those conversations that were happening around me surrounding technology and social media just totally passed me by. So now I try to make a conscious effort to stay up to date with technology, and it is difficult because naturally I'm not drawn to technology, so I really have to force myself, you know, to try and stay current and stay you know, make sure that I'm aware of those changes that are happening around me, especially within my field.
Miss Geek, and it's written by Belinda Palmer, and she's very vocal on the topic of women and young girls and technology and how they're put off by technology. And within her book, she quotes a real world example. So this goes back to 1969, and it's the rejection letter from the BBC to a woman who's applied to be an engineer or a technician. And the response is basically, we do not employ women at this time, or we do not employ females. And it's a true, genuine thing, and it's shocking. It was really shocking. But, you know, we've come a long way since then, and there's a long way we can actually go, because we're in technology with youngsters. I work with youngsters a lot, and you find out that they're really put off by STEM, which is science, technology, engineering and maths, which is a real shame, because once they shut the door to it, they've just cut themselves off to, you know, a lot of careers that could work really well for them. Companies are definitely waking up to the idea that they're missing a trick when they don't have diverse teams. And there's a real push at a lot of companies to get more women into tech. And that is one of the reasons that STEMex was born. And it was tackling the younger females to try and just dispel, you know, the stereotypes and, you know, the things that hold them back from taking up STEM and putting them in touch with role models.
Personally, my biggest challenge with setting up my own business is lack of support with my daughter. And I think, and the costs that go with childcare, to be able to have the mind space, to be able to make a plan, to then execute it. That, to me, is the biggest challenge as a single mom.
Finding someone to look after your children who you trust, especially if you work in a really unpredictable profession. For example, me working in television, I never know how long a contract's going to last. I never know how long my day's going to be. I never know what deadlines are going to come up. They move all the time.
Women continue to take the primary responsibility for childcare beyond the early years. 3/4 of mothers say that they have primary day-to-day responsibility for children. According to the Creative Skill Set Census of 2009, women tend to be more highly represented in areas such as costume and wardrobe, which is 68%, and makeup and hair at 52%, and less in technical roles such as engineering and transmission at just 7%, editing 14%, or music, audio and sound 11%. In the UK, in 2012, for the first time since Global Entrepreneurship Monitoring Records began, almost 1/4 of working-age individuals were engaged in entrepreneurial activity or intended to start a business within the next 3 years. This source came from the Global Entrepreneurship Monitoring Report of 2014. The number of women in the creative and media industries has increased from 53,750 in 2009 to 69,590 in 2012, which represents 36% of the total workforce in 2012 compared to 27% in 2009.